Wow. Kia ora koutou, welcome. Oh, it's just, the screen's just flashing for a moment. I will start again. Slight rush this morning. Um, my internet had a blip in it, but it is sorted again now. So, kia ora koutou, welcome. Oh my gosh, what day is it? It's day 26 and a few more to go. I'm going to continue these until next Monday at 12 midday, and then I will review how I offer this. Hopefully, I work out a process where you can access this live, and then you can access it afterwards. Just taking some guidance from the trauma centre about making it accessible, but not unsafely so. So once again, taking a moment to check in with yourself and know that whatever I say, you don't have to do. You're always welcome to move in other forms, move to resting, whatever works for you. So if you like, taking a look around the space where you are, and I've just taken a look around my space and realised my phone is still on, so I'll just turn that off. Nothing worse than getting a call in the middle of yoga. And that I still have my socks on. Quite a different session today. So just checking out where you are in your space, finding a way to bring yourself to your practice. What I haven't mentioned before, and I will mention today, at the end of the session, I mention about your intention, your purpose for practicing. I don't usually mention it at the beginning, but this time you could acknowledge your intention at the beginning, whatever that is. And sometimes people like to repeat that kind of out loud or out loud in their head 3 times. So in your own way, maybe taking a moment to acknowledge your intention for your practice today. If you're interested, perhaps saying it out loud or out loud in your head. Perhaps noticing that your breath is with you, that you're breathing, that your breath comes and goes, ebbs and flows, and it's always there. You might notice the sensation of your breath, possibly moving in your body or at your nose or your mouth. If you're interested, you could perhaps bring your hand closer to your mouth. You might feel the sensation of your breath on your hand. Always knowing it's only a possibility, and there's no right or wrong way to breathe here. So then in your own time, maybe moving your shoulders. So one option could be to lift and lower, or moving your shoulders in circles in either direction. You get to choose the size of your movement. Another option could be moving your shoulders forward and back. And if you are moving your shoulders, there's a possibility you might feel sensation in your shoulders. No, it's only a possibility. You might feel your shoulder blades moving. Then in your own time, guiding yourself back to your center or your neutral, perhaps taking a breath. And if you like, bringing your awareness to notice your head and neck. So one way of moving your head and neck could be to bring your ear towards your shoulder. Maybe dropping your ear towards your shoulder. You might feel sensation through your neck. If you're interested, you could then move your ear to your other shoulder. Perhaps moving your head through midline to your other shoulder. You're welcome to move in your own rhythm. Maybe moving your ear to your left shoulder and your right shoulder. Another option could be to bring your chin to your left shoulder. There's another option, it's a choice. You can try both out, perhaps choosing which works for you. So maybe bringing your chin to your left shoulder, if you like, dropping your chin to your midline, and lifting your chin to your right shoulder. So you get to choose how you want to move. Maybe moving in half circles, perhaps bringing your ear to your shoulder. Like moving your head and neck, and there is a possibility you may begin to feel sensation in your neck. You get to choose how fast you want to move, finding your own rhythm, guiding yourself back to your neutral in your own time. And if you're interested in exploring some movement of your face, I've been looking at screens a lot today. So a little bit of face yoga. What you may like to do is move your hands quickly together, maybe rubbing your palms together. You might notice that they get warm, maybe making a squeaking noise. And then in your own time, perhaps bringing your hands to rest on your eyes. So there's no requirement to do this. You may choose to close your eyes, maybe bringing your hands to rest on your eyes and breathing. So this is it's very bright when I take my hands away. This is a form that you can do in resting, in resting form, or at any other time. Then if you like, maybe tightening the muscles in your cheek. Maybe scrunching the muscles in your cheeks. Maybe scrunching your eyes. If you like, tightening your jaw. I imagine that looks quite hilarious. And breathe in. And then in your own time, allowing your face, the muscles in your face to return to normal. If you're interested in exploring some movement with your eyes, perhaps bringing your finger to your nose and moving your finger out, and perhaps looking out to the side. And then in your own time, moving your eyes back to center and looking out to your other side. You're like moving your eyes from one side to your other side. Moving in your own pace. guiding yourself back to your neutral and breathing. Then if you like, moving to explore some standing forms or seated. So all of the forms could be done seated or standing. Perhaps finding your expression of standing moanga, perhaps lifting and lowering your feet, or seated moanga. Maybe lifting and lowering. You might notice the sensation of where your feet make contact with the ground. Maybe lifting and lowering. Then if you like, maybe tilting your weight forward and back. Oh, maybe tilting forward and back. Finding your sense of midline or balance. Maybe leaning forward and back. Then if you like, bending and softening your knees. If you're seated, perhaps sitting up tall, standing, maybe bringing your torso over your ankles, perhaps shoulders over your ankles. If you're seated, maybe bringing your shoulders over your seat. If you like, turning your palms out, and perhaps bringing your head to balance on your shoulders. If you like, looking forward and breathing. Finding your expression of standing moanga and breathing. Then if you like, exploring some sun breaths or moving your arms. Knowing you're welcome to move your arms in whatever way you like. Maybe lifting and bringing your hands to touch. Maybe moving your hands to your sides. If it's of interest to you, you could perhaps coordinate your movement with your breath. So maybe moving your arms as you breathe. Maybe breathing in as you move in one direction and breathing out as you move in another direction. Now you're always welcome to move in whatever way works for you. So if you are moving your arms, you may like to bring your palms together, perhaps bringing your hands to your knees, maybe leaning forward, or perhaps bringing your elbows to your knees and maybe tucking your chin. If you're interested, leaning forward and breathing. At any time you can move in and out of your forward fold. If you're seated, maybe bringing your hands to your legs, perhaps leaning forward, tucking your chin. Or if you like, lowering your hands towards your feet. Maybe moving in and out of your forward fold and breathing. You're welcome to move in the form. You're welcome to bend and straighten your knees. Guiding yourself back to upright. And then if you like, moving to explore Warrior One. So if you're standing, you may like to notice where you place your feet, maybe looking, perhaps moving, finding your stability. If you like, stepping back with one of your legs. You might have your knees bent or straight. Ranging your arms in a way that's useful for you, perhaps at your side, maybe out in front, and breathing. So if you are seated on a chair, what you may like to do is perhaps moving to the side of your chair, If you like, extending one leg behind you and breathing. Arranging your arms in a way that's useful for you, perhaps at your side, maybe out in front. And in your own time, maybe switching, just moving to pick my clock up so I don't keep you here till 2 o'clock. My goodness. So perhaps stepping back with your opposite leg. In your own time, exploring your expression of warrior 2, warrior 1. And breathing. If you're interested, you could experiment with pressing your rear heel into the ground. You might feel sensation in your legs and you might feel nothing at all. So if you like, experimenting with pressing your rear heel into the ground and breathing, knowing at any time you're welcome to switch, you're welcome to move in and out of the form, finding your way to upright in your own time. From here, if you're interested in exploring warrior 2, you may like to bring your toes to face the long edge of your mat. I'll offer this on the chair next. And then if you like, stepping your feet apart, perhaps bringing one foot to face the short edge of your mat, maybe moving. So you might have your knees straight or bent, it's up to you. And you could arrange your arms at your side or extended. And breathing. Perhaps looking over your forward-facing hand, or maybe bringing your elbow to your forward-facing knee, or maybe raising your arm and breathing. So if you're seated, what you may like to do is step your feet apart. Then if you like, turning one foot away from your torso. Maybe raising your arms and breathing. Perhaps looking over your forward-facing hand. This may be your variation of warrior 2. If you like, you could perhaps bring your elbow to your forward-facing knee. Maybe raising your arm, perhaps looking towards your arm and breathing. So at any time, you're welcome to switch. Perhaps moving back to your neutral, if you like, turning your opposite foot away from your torso, maybe moving, perhaps arranging your arms in a way that's useful for you. Possibly leaning forward, maybe bringing your elbow to your forward-facing knee and breathing. And in your own time, finding your way to upright, finding your way back to your expression of seated or standing mountain. Seated or standing moana. Maybe taking a breath. And if you like, moving to explore a balancing form. So if you're standing, you might like to shift your weight to one of your legs. Maybe standing tall, perhaps lifting your heel off the ground, maybe your foot, perhaps bringing your foot to the side of your leg and breathing. So sometimes it's helpful to find a spot on the wall that's not moving. If you like, balancing or pressing one foot into the ground. So maybe lifting and lowering. Anytime you're welcome to switch. So if you're seated, I'll turn this around, it may be easier. If you're seated, what you may like to do is step your feet apart and bring your hands to your upper legs. Possibly pressing one foot into the ground, maybe lifting the other foot off the ground. You may feel some sensation under your hands. You might feel muscles moving, maybe engaging. You might feel sensation under your torso. So in your own time, maybe switching, perhaps pressing one foot into the ground, maybe lifting your foot, possibly feeling sensation, maybe feeling nothing at all. So exploring your balancing form, ranging your arms in whatever way works for you, perhaps shifting your weight into your leg, maybe standing tall, perhaps lifting your heel off the floor, maybe your foot, perhaps bringing your foot to the side of your leg. Anytime you're welcome to lift and lower, and know that it's quite normal to wobble. You might notice that you're breathing. Then, if you like, guiding yourself back to your neutral, and in your own time, maybe exploring what we sometimes call half moon. So if you're on a chair, what you may like to do is extend your legs, possibly raising your arms, maybe lifting and lowering your leg. You might feel sensation in your torso. If you're standing, you may like to bring your hands to the back of your chair, possibly leaning forward, maybe walking away from your chair. If it's available, you may like to experiment with lifting and lowering your leg. So maybe lifting and lowering your leg. You might feel sensation in your straight leg. At any time, you're welcome to switch. Maybe lifting your leg. And breathing. Possibly lifting and lowering. Guiding yourself back to your neutral. If you're interested in experimenting with bending your knees, maybe using the back of your chair, knowing how much you bend is up to you. So sometimes we can be guided by what we feel in our body. So maybe experimenting with bending your knees. If you're seated, what you may like to do is bend your knees, perhaps bringing your knee close to your torso. Or if it's available, maybe bending both knees, perhaps moving your knees. Another option could be to move into what we sometimes call a squat. You may choose to hold the side of your mat, or perhaps bringing your palms together. Always a choice. And if you like being guided by your body, perhaps finding your way to seated or seated on your mat in your own time. And if you are seated, sometimes it is useful to have a small cushion. And sitting on a small cushion, sometimes it can support your spine. So finding your expression of seated moanga, maybe sitting up tall, perhaps bringing your shoulders over your seat, like arranging your head to balance on your shoulders and breathing. So you might like to experiment with a twist. So one way of twisting could be to bring your right hand to your left knee and your left hand behind you, sitting up tall. If you're interested, perhaps bringing your chin to your left shoulder. And then if it's available, maybe experimenting with rotating. Maybe rotating your spine and breathing. So at any time you're welcome to switch, you're welcome to hold in the form. Possibly noticing what it's like to breathe in this form, maybe taking a breath. When you're ready, perhaps moving back to your center, perhaps sitting up tall, maybe bringing your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. If you like, bringing your chin to your shoulder, and if it's available, maybe rotating and breathing. Perhaps rotating and breathing, maybe switching. Finding your way back to your neutral in your own time. If you're interested in exploring some cats and cows from a seated form, maybe lifting your front torso and looking up. You're welcome to explore that form. Another form could be tucking your chin, curling your spine and looking down. You're also welcome to put the two movements together in your own rhythm, maybe looking up, possibly looking down, and breathing. Noticing your breath is with you. Finding your way back to your neutral. And if you like, perhaps moving into what we sometimes, actually I'm going to change that, just realize the time's ticking by rapidly. So maybe finding your way onto your abdomen, perhaps moving to explore some forms on your abdomen. So you may like to bring your elbows under your shoulders and perhaps hands on your mat. And you could choose to look up or down, straight ahead, or possibly resting your forehead on your hands. So maybe with your elbows under your shoulders and your hands on the ground. Another choice could be to press your hands into the ground, maybe lifting your torso. If you're on a chair, what you may like to do, I'll bring this chair a little bit further forward, is possibly extending your legs, maybe leaning back on your chair. If you like, pointing your toes, maybe raising your arms, perhaps bending your elbows. And you might feel some sensation through your torso And it is only a possibility. Maybe lifting and lowering and breathing. At any time, you're welcome to bring your forehead to rest on your hands. And if you're on your mat, you may like to use your hands to perhaps press into the ground, maybe moving back to sit on your ankles. You could have your knees together or apart, possibly having your hands extended, or if you like, resting your forehead on your hands and breathing. So maybe finding a resting form, maybe sitting back on your ankles, perhaps breathing, or maybe bringing your awareness to notice your breathing, that your breath is with you. And then in your own time, perhaps finding your way onto your back. And the last form for today is either legs on the chair or maybe legs up the wall. If your legs are up the wall, you may like to bring your hands into cactus or maybe extending your arms. So legs on a chair, legs up the wall, or maybe lifting and lowering your arms. So there's a choice of 3 and you can combine them if you like. So this is the last form for today. So when you're ready, you might like to find a resting form for the last part of your practice. It could be legs up the wall or legs on the chair, on your back, your side, whatever way works for you. I'm going to offer a brief body scan exercise and then some silence and an opportunity for you to close your practice. So in your own time, maybe taking a breath. As you breathe out, perhaps bringing your awareness to notice the sensation of the support beneath you. If you like, bringing your awareness to notice sensation at your eyebrow center. Sensation in your neck. Sensation in the whole of your right arm. Sensation in your neck. Sensation in the whole of your left arm. Sensation in your neck. Do you know you're allowed to move and rest in? Sensation at your heart center, Aroha. Sensation in your abdomen. Sensation in the whole of your right leg. Sensation in the whole of your left leg. Sensation in your abdomen. Sensation at your heart center, Aroha. Sensation in your neck. Sensation at your eyebrow center. Sensation in the whole of your body, your entire body, the whole of your body all together. I'll offer some silence and then the chime and an opportunity for you to close your practice. So do know there's no hurry to move. And when you do choose to move, maybe wriggling your fingers and toes, or perhaps moving to rest on your side. If you like, taking an opportunity to acknowledge your practice to yourself. So maybe acknowledging your intention that you made at the beginning of your practice, maybe saying that aloud again in your head, or perhaps it was to nurture yourself or connect with yourself. So acknowledging your practice to yourself. So apologies for the late start, for the wee glitch. Great to be here, great to practice with you, and delighted to hear that we will move to level 3 next Monday. I will be here every day, 12 a day. Thank you for the opportunity to practice with you. Take care. Ka kite ana.